I was a poor farmer. That was back in the days when we had the Georgia stock and a mule. I was drafted in 2 days before war broke out. Well, when you go in the Army like I did, you go here, you go here, you go here and there. So I wound up in the medical corps, which I didn't know nothing about medicine and still don't. That's how I got into the dental. They needed a body over here, so they sent me over there. I was a dental laboratory technician, make false teeth. The doctor would give us the foundation, the preparation for us to make the foundation for the dentures. $21 a month. I mean, that's now by the hour, you know. But I made $21 a month. When you wasn't in the war or something like that, you worked just like you do here, about 8 hours and the day is over, unless you're on guard or something, you know. But during the war, you don't have no days off. Every day is Monday. Just keep rolling.
Yeah.
When I was in Little Rock, we took our tests and everything, and I was sleeping in a little old tent and with another fellow from Star City, and a lieutenant came down our tent and said, "Hey, you boys want to go to the," that was back when the Air Force hadn't formed yet, they were still in the making or something, and he said, "You guys made a good enough score, you're going to the Air Force field." To this guy said, no, I told my girlfriend I wasn't going to volunteer for nothing. So he said, "I'm not going to go," and I said, "Well, if he's not going to go, I'm not going to go either." So I just took it as it come along, you know. And if you didn't do your job, you'd get in trouble. Because it's like when I first went in, the sergeant said to me and to all of us, "You don't have a problem. I've got your problem. I'll take care of every problem you got." So that's what I say. If you don't do your job, the sergeant here, he takes care of it. He takes care of it himself. Well, when I was drafted, I was drafted in Little Rock, and I wasn't as scared, you might say. I don't know, so many of us there, you didn't have time to get scared, you know. There's 400 or 500 of us there that's stirring us around like this, and you didn't have time to get scared or anything. So then we went to Texas for basic training, and then when we left there, we went to Seattle, Washington, and we got up there, and there's a great big parking lot, you know, with a little stand out there in the center. There's about 5,000 of us scattered around there. And the lieutenant got up on that and he said who he was and this, that, and the other. "Now you are waiting for the next ship out, you know."
Yeah.
So we was there about 4 or 5 days, and we loaded up on a ship and went to Alaska. So when we was going to Alaska, they put me on guard on the front of that ship. And it was dark out there, and I had these earphones on, and I was supposed to report into the sergeant on anything I seen out in front of that ship. And it was so dark I couldn't see my hand. But I was on guard, you know. Now that was useless as anything to me. But that was guard. Yeah, they had one kid down there, he was one of these 2-year men, like you said. And he was a nice young kid. And he stayed in the stockade all the time. Every time he'd get out, he'd go to town, get in trouble, and come back and put in. I said, man, what's wrong with you? What do you do that for? He said, well, it's easier in the stockade than it is out here. So he stayed in the stockade most of the time, just 2 years. It's different from ours. The people make it that way. It seems to me that the Latin American people enjoy life more so than we do, because they have these parties and get-togethers and so forth and so on. Here you don't even do nothing like that. She was a school teacher. I think I met her at the NCO club. I think that's what it was. That was usually the meeting place, you know, the NCO club.
Yeah.
I went through the canal on a ship, yes. It takes an average ship about 6 hours. That's 50 miles across there. About 6 hours. And some it takes 8 to go across it. And when that ship comes out of the ocean into the bay, we'll say, the captain of the ship, when he docks in the bay, he loses control of his ship. The Panama Canal's got a pilot, comes out and takes his ship and takes it to the canal. The guy that runs it over the ocean cannot go drive it through the canal. You've got to have a guy that knows how to go through the lakes. Well, after it's all over and everything, and now, yeah, I have no idea what I'd have done if I hadn't went down there, because I didn't have no education. You see, I didn't have no trade. None with the farming, you know. Farming, not too much of it just quite a trade now, but there wasn't then. But I've often thought of that. What would I have been if I hadn't been in the army? The military to me was good. There's so many people against it, but it was very, very good to me. And I enjoyed it. So that's about it for the military me.
My name is Olivia Hughes.
I'm Jessica Cobb.
And I'm Nikki Gordon, and we are with the BIC East group. And we're here today interviewing Mr. Butler in the Mustang Athletic Complex. And today is September 10th. Okay? Okay. Where and when were you born?
What was that?
Where and when were you born?
Where was I born? In Lincoln County,
Arkansas.
Star City, Arkansas.
Darcy. What year?
1918, January the 3rd.
And that makes you how old today?
Do what?
How old are you today?
Well, 97.
97.
That'll be 98, the 3rd of January.
Okay.
Okay.
Who are your parents and what did they do?
Uh,
Who are your parents and what did they do? Like their jobs.
Your parents, your mom and dad, who were they?
my mother and dad.
Uh-huh.
What was the question?
Who were they? Name them, give their name,
Oh.
what their jobs were, what was their occupation?
Well, my father, he worked in Los Angeles in an aircraft carrier, and my mother was just a housekeeper. That's about it.
What were their names?
John Butler and Thelma Butler.
Why did you choose to enlist in the Army?
Why did I enlist in the Army? I didn't want. They drafted me in the sergeant, and they went from there on.
When did that occur? When were you drafted?
When was I drafted? I was drafted in 2 days before war broke out. That was December 5th.
Yeah.
2 days before war.
What year?
41.
41.
How much money did you make per month when you were in the service, when you first started?
$21 a month. I mean, that's not by the hour, you know. But I made 21 a month.
That's sort of something.
What did you do in the military?
What did I do in the Army? I was a dental laboratory technician. You know what that is? Make false teeth.
Okay. So how would you do that? Like,
How did I do that?
yeah.
Well, that's kind of hard to explain.
You didn't clap for it, did you?
The doctor would give us the foundation, the preparation for us to make the foundation for the dentures. And that, we'd make that, give it back to him, he'd do his part, and he'd give it back to us, and we'd wind up with a set of dentures.
Were you a dental technician before, or what did you do before the war started, or when you were drafted?
What did I do before I was drafted? I was a poor farmer. That was back in the days when we had the Georgia stock and a mule. They know what it
They
is.
don't know what a Georgia stock is. They might know what a mule is.
What kind of car did you have when you were drafted?
Huh?
When you were drafted in the service, what kind of car or automobile did you have?
Shoe leather.
Shoe leather and walk, maybe.
What kind of
That's all the
automobile?
transportation I had then, shoe leather, you know. Where were you going?
What kind of car do you drive today?
What is my 11 Cadillac, right? 2011 Cadillac.
That's good. You lived in Panama.
Yeah. You said you moved you were living in Panama. What was that like to live in Panama?
How did I like Panama?
Yeah.
What was it like?
What was it like? Well, it's not like it is here, you know. People working, making a living like everybody around here. But the country is it's different from ours. The people make it that way. It seems to me that the Latin American people enjoy life more so than we do because they have these parties and get-togethers and so forth and so on. Here you don't even do nothing like that. Back when I was a kid, we used to make ice cream in a wash up,
Yeah.
a bucket with a lid on it, and freeze your ice cream like this.
Rotating
But they
it.
don't know nothing about like that now.
Do you enjoy being there?
Right?
Did you enjoy being in Panama?
I was down there 13 years. It's a nice country down there. The average temperature is about 72 the year around, and it's pretty nice.
Did you meet your wife there too?
You know,
What's her name?
stuff. Sensible.
What did she do in Panama?
She was a school teacher.
How'd you meet her?
I think I met her at the NCO club. That was usually the meeting place, you know, the NCO club.
Yeah.
So what made you want to be a dental technician, or were you just told that you were going to be, that was going to be your job?
I don't quite understand that.
Like, did you decide that you were going to work with the dentist and make the dentures and stuff, or did they just pick you for that job? Was that your decision, or did they assign you that job?
I don't understand.
Why were you a dental lab technician?
Why was I?
Why?
Well, when you go in the army like I did, you go here, you go here, you go here and there. So I wound up in the medical corps, which I didn't know nothing about medicine and still don't. That's how I got into the dental. They needed a body over here, so they sent me over there.
It was just really just like the luck of the draw. That's just.
Yeah.
What you got?
Just about.
Did they train you how to be a dental technician then?
They train them, yeah.
How long did that take?
They send most of them to Fort Sam, Texas, for, I believe it's about 3 months, 6 months or something like that. I'm not sure anymore. I didn't go, so I don't know. But they send them down there.
They do that now, but how'd they train you?
Yeah.
Didn't go to that place in Texas. So how'd you get trained?
How did I get trained? Well, my training, I call it on the job training.
Yeah.
On the job.
So life in Panama, you said it was way different from it is now. So what was like the culture like? What's the culture like in Panama?
What was it?
Culture like
Culture.
your life in Panama?
Like the people?
Yeah.
Like the people in Panama.
My wife?
No, just the people, general population of Panama, when you were down there, what was it like? It's different then than it is today.
Well, did you ever go to the Mardi Gras in
I've been there, yes.
Well, they have that in Panama every year, and February, I believe. I got down there in December, and the fiesta, they only come up in February, and they lock the stores and everything is closed, and it's a party for a whole week. Dance, music, and everything, parade, and everything for a whole week. And at the end of it, they claim it buried the sardine. It's kind of connected with kind of religion thing. They bury that sardine about 6 o'clock Saturday morning, it's all over. Just like that.
Okay, and then people resume their normal life, and what was their normal life like down there? Did they work in fields or have stores like we do, commercial retail? What do they do?
They just do about the same as we do here, just hang around kind of like a party on the shirt, you know.
Did you ever see a boat go through the Panama Canal, or did you ever ride in a ship through the Panama Canal? What was it like?
I went through the canal on a ship, yes. It takes an average ship about 6 hours, and 50 miles across it. About 6 hours, and some it takes 8 to go across it. And when that ship comes out of the ocean into the bay, we'll see, the captain of the ship, when he docks in the bay, he loses control of his ship. The Panama Canal got a pilot comes out and takes the ship and takes it to the canal. The guy runs over the ocean, cannot go through drive it through the canal. You gotta have a guy that knows how to go through the lakes.
Tell them how those ships moved with so many gallons of water.
They say, I'm going on what they say now, that's hearsay, no. I hear that it takes 27 million gallons of water to move that ship from one chamber to the other.
That's a lot of water.
And at the same time, there's a gallon of that water pumped by a machine, gravity fed.
That's why it took so long. Do you have any interesting stories when you were there? Would you like to share?
Didn't make it.
Do you have any interesting stories that you'd like to tell us about your time in Panama?
Do you have a story of it?
Some funny story or an interesting story while you were down there? Some funny or interesting story?
No, I can't think of one. Can't think of one.
Did you or any of your friends own a deep sea boat and fish in the ocean while you were stationed in Panama?
Oh yeah, they had fishing boats out every day. You could go fishing every day. Charter a boat and go. There was one guy that had a 42-footer. And it's deep 7. And 2 lawyers from Dallas, Texas got in touch with him. They wanted to go down and go get some marlins. The big marlins, we drive way out in the island up there, they'd go to it and catch some marlins. And blue marlins, they were going 8 days catching fish out there. Just 4 people on that one ship stayed out there 8 days. But they do a lot of fishing down there. And the commercial fishing, quite a bit, shrimp, crabs, and stuff like that.
There was no war going on in Panama when you were there.
War,
Yeah, not in Panama, was it? You were there just to service the people that ran that canal, because at the time the United States owned that Panama Canal and our military personnel operated it.
that's the way it was. There was some kind of a, someone going to throw it down there one time, they overthrew the government, you know, kind of upset the whole thing, but they finally got it settled and went back to work.
Yeah.
Panama's mostly Spanish speaking. Did you learn how to speak their language, or did you just
Because I learned how to speak Spanish.
to live there? You said you lived there for 13 years.
Everywhere I went down there, they spoke English.
Isn't that right?
I never learned Spanish. It coincided here now.
So most of the people talked English.
After my wife and I got married, we'd go places, and people she knew that speak English and she didn't even know it. They didn't speak English. Everywhere we went, they spoke English.
Did you have any kids while you were in Panama? Did you raise your family in Panama?
I had one girl down there, that's all,
How old is she now?
45.
Can she speak Spanish or not?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Speaks Spanish just like a Spaniard.
What is your oldest child, how old is your oldest child?
He just said 45.
74, I believe, we 75. Oh, 75 old, yeah.
Yeah.
What did your oldest child do? What's their occupation?
My oldest daughter, she's been a housewife all the time I know of it. She never did work.
Do you have any grandkids then?
Now you're getting into some figures here.
Oh.
Grandkids, I've got about 7 or 8. And grandkids, I got about 5 of them.
Do you see them very often?
One of them here in Lake City.
Do you have any friends from when you were in Panama that you still know?
I've been, well,
Do you have any friends from Panama that you still know?
I know a few people in Panama, but not many anymore. My wife's relatives and family is still some down there, but that's about it. Everybody I know is gone. That's like I was born and raised in Star City. I go down there now, I don't know nobody. They've all gone. I'm a stranger.
So when you got drafted, were you afraid, or were you ready to go fight, or what was your reaction when you found out you were drafted?
Well, when I was drafted, I was drafted in Little Rock, and I wasn't scared, you might say. I don't know what. So many of us there, you didn't have time to get scared, you know. There's 400 or 500 of us there stirring us around like this, and you didn't have time to get scared or anything. So then we went to Texas for basic training, and then when we left there, we went to Seattle, Washington, and we got up there into the great big parking lot, you know, the little stand out there in the center. There's about 5,000 of us scattered around there. And the lieutenant got up on that and he said who he was and did that and the other. Now you are waiting for the next ship out, you know.
Yeah.
So we was there about 4 or 5 days. We loaded up on the ship and went to Alaska.
Alaska.
And up there, and it was in wintertime. It was cold. It was all that cold, and it was cold.
What did you do in Alaska?
What I'm doing in Alaska, I'm still in the dental business.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Was that before you went to Panama?
Yeah.
Did you go anywhere else before you got to Panama? Or was it just Alaska? Did you go somewhere else before you got to Panama or just Alaska?
Before you got to Panama, did you go to any other place, any other state?
Or was it just Alaska?
What was your journey to Panama? You said you went to Texas and Alaska, and then from
Well, I went
Alaska.
to Costa Rica once.
Oh, okay.
Costa Rica, that's only a poor country now. Then, I don't know how now. Costa Rica.
Was it like,
What was it like? Well, we got there and got the hotel, and it looked like a Chinese was running it and everything. He told me, he says, whenever you get ready to leave, pay me in American money. I said, why? He said, give me more purchasing power. So you see how they change it like that?
Yeah.
Economics is different, yeah.
They get more American money to do with their own.
How many hours do you work a day as a dental technician?
How many hours a day?
Mm-hmm.
Regular, when you went in the war or something like that, you work just like do here, about 8 hours, and the day's over. Unless you're on guard or something, you know. But during the war, you don't have no days off. Every day is Monday. It's the road.
Yeah.
Did you have to pull extra duty as a dental technician?
Yes, sir.
Guard and KP and all that?
I didn't pull no KP much, but I pulled that guard. You know, we had to be on the ship, you know. Butler's first one on the roster, you know.
Yeah, B, yeah.
When they want to detail, they look at the roster, Butler, here you go. So we going to that, so they put me on guard on the front of that ship. And it was dark out there, and I had the earphones on, and I was supposed to report into the sergeant on anything I seen out in front of that ship. And it was dark, I couldn't see my head. But I was on guard, you know. But that was useless to me. was guard. Mm-mm.
About how many years did you serve in the military before you retired?
33.
That's a long time.
I've been retired long as I was in the service.
Been retired 35 years or so.
Be 40.
40. Well, where did you go when you left Panama?
I retired, and
Retired from Panama.
I came to Star City, Arkansas. I lived there 28 years, and then I came up here, leaving my daughter and grandkids, and you know, randomly got killed. So I was in the process of moving up here before that happened, and I was still in the process of my place down there and everything. And about halfway in the middle of that, he got killed, and so I came on up here to be with my grandkids. And then if she didn't get married to some guy from Kentucky, and married him and moved to Mississippi. So I'm letting here out of live now, sir.
Yeah. What'd you do when you lived there in Star City? Did you farm again?
Yes. No, when I come back and retired, I was retired. It was a dental office in town.
Okay.
And I worked for him 18 years after I retired. Go back to it. I did a little bit of work for him, not much. The acrylic part, I did do the middle. So I worked for him off and on for 18 years.
So working for the dentist in Star City was way different than in Panama, right? No.
Then you were a dental technician in Panama. That was different from a dental technician in...
It's all the same.
All the same?
The only thing that might change is material. The rest of it's all the same, but they change the material.
Do you think that being drafted into the war, do you think that that's changed your life for better? Or do you think you could have done
Well,
something different?
Look at it as it is now. Being drafted was a good thing for me. If I'd have volunteered myself, well, I don't know why. When I was in Little Rock, we took our tests and everything, and I was sleeping in a little tent and with another fellow from Star City. And a lieutenant came down our tent and said, "Hey, you boys want to go to..." That was back when the Air Force was in point yet. They were still in the making or something. And he said, "You got made up enough story going to the Air Force field to..." This guy said, No. I told my girlfriend I wasn't going to volunteer for nothing." So he said, "I'm not going to go." And I said, "Well, if he's not going to go, I'm not going to go either." So I just took it as it come along, you know, and that's how I went.
The war at the time was World War II, was it?
World War II. When you...
Yeah.
World War II.
Were you ever in combat? I know you were working as a...
Well, I don't know whether you want to call it combat or not. When I went to Korea in 1950, that's when it broke out over. 24th Division was there. So I was stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington, and the 2nd Division was there. So the 2nd Division went to Korea, so I went with the 2nd Division, you know. Then I was a first aid man, which I didn't know nothing about it. So they sent me over there as a first aid man until the whole division got there. Then they kind of formed themselves again. So he's in Korea there with the 2nd Division. If I'd had to stay with the infantry part, I'd have got out the next day because I didn't like that infantry at all. Get out there and want to be in like old mountain like the colonel said, "You see it?" And everybody said, "Yeah." And still hard, you know. "Yeah," we could say. "Well, we're going to go over today and take a look at it." I hiked up that mountain and I said, "See you later." I hadn't gone on Mars in 10 years. When I come back to the camp, we had these tables, you know, like they got in the park, you know, the seat deal on to that, and when I leave it, put it over there, seat down. So I'm tired.
Have you been back to Panama since you left?
Do I like Panama?
Have you been back there since?
Well, I haven't been back since.
No.
Yeah. I would like to go, but I'm afraid I wouldn't run in English speaking people.
Would you say in the military, was everything pretty organized or not? Was everything organized in the military, or like what you were doing?
How was it organized? Was it organized in the military?
Well, that's what organized.
Where you worked?
Oh, yeah, it was pretty well organized, yeah, everything.
Everybody knew what they were supposed to do, did it?
But I guess everybody had a job to do. And then 90% of them knew what to do with their job, so it was all right.
Did a lot of people get in trouble, or a lot of people not do what they're supposed to, or was everybody doing their job?
When they didn't do their job, did they get in trouble somehow?
Well, yeah, if you didn't do your job, you get in trouble. Because it's like, when I first went in, the sergeant said to me, and to all of us, you don't have a problem. I've got your problem. I'll take care of every problem you've got. So that's what I say. If you don't do your job, the sergeant here, he take care of it.
Take care of you.
It's really your job.
Well, last year in our English class, we read a book, and it was called Things They Carried. And in that story, the main character dealt with having to, wanting to run away and, not be in the draft and basically become AWOL. Do you know anybody that ever wanted to do that and didn't want to go to the draft, they just wanted to, go to another?
I don't understand all you said there.
Okay.
Do you know anybody trying to avoid the draft, like
Yeah.
trying to get away from it? We read a book about a guy who was trying to flee from Canada to get away from the draft. Did you know anybody that trying to run away?
When I was drafted,
Anybody that you were with, anybody that you knew, did they try to get out of the draft by running off to Canada or
I
something?
don't know. I've been trying to get out of the draft.
Did anybody you know try to do that?
No, not that I know, but some did. I
Right.
didn't know, but I didn't see it.
Did anybody try to go AWOL in Panama when they were in service?
Yeah, we had one kid down there, he was one of these 2-year men, like you said. And he was a nice young kid. And he stayed in stockade all the time. Every time he'd get out, he'd go down and get in trouble, come back and win. I said, man, what's wrong with you? What do you do that for? He said, well, it's easy in the stockade than it is out here. So he stayed in the stockade most of the time, just 2 years.
That's kind of the same attitude that people have today. Some people have today. It's easier to make it in jail than it is out in the world. And that's what he was.
Yeah, they get in trouble anywhere they are. Kind of like that Chinese up in Costa Rica, when he won that American money, he said American people ruin any country they go into.
Really?
I said, how's that? He said, well, we here hire a maid for $7 a month. American coming in there, he can pay 10. So we ruined it right away.
Seems to do that.
Yeah, I see.
Alrighty, well, we're about out of time, but I have one more question for you. What is the most important thing that you think you have taken away from the war?
Okay. What's the best thing that happened that when you left, got out of the Army, what's the best thing you think it did for you?
What's the best thing
That it
for
did
me
for you?
after I retired?
Right.
Well, I don't know. Best thing that's happened to me since I retired is, God, I don't know.
Did the military teach you anything about life and how to get along?
Not really, not really. I just, kind of like the old saying is, live day by day. And everything, if there's any changes, there's habit.
Are you glad you were in the military?
Well, after it's all over and everything, and now, yeah. I have no idea what I'd have done if I hadn't went in the Army. Because I didn't have no education, you see, I didn't have no trade. None with the farming, farming not too much of it is quite a trade now, but there wasn't then. But I've often thought of that. What would I have been if I hadn't been in the Army?
But you did get to travel a lot and go to a lot of countries that you never would have gotten to do.
No, I didn't go to Alaska and Korea and Panama. It's the only place I went in the Army.
Okay.
I was supposed to go to Germany once, and the colonel I worked for, he asked me, you ever been to Germany? And I said, no, I haven't lost anything over there. He said, he had already been over there and back. He said, you don't want to go to Germany? And I said, no, I don't have no interest in going over there. And he said, well, we'll see what we can do. He took me off of orders. I didn't go to Germany. So I wondered what, a lot of people, I got a lot of stories from Germany, but I don't know whether I want to go over there or not.
Yeah. So is there any last thing or last sentiment you would like to add?
You know, I can't understand.
Okay,
Anything else you want to say before the video?
we're fixing to stop. This interview's gonna be over. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Oh, this interview's about over?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know if I got anything to say, nothing but, I had to say this, that the military to me was good. There's so many people against it, but it was very, very good to me. And I enjoyed it. So that's about it for